Hello everyone, and welcome to the 100 subscribers special video. Man, 100 subscribers. Now that's pretty cool. Well, some might say that it's not really all that impressive when you look at some other content creators who blew up and now have hundreds of thousands of subscribers and a way more active community. But imagine this, a single room filled with 100 people who all come to see you and what you bring out there. Isn't that amazing? Well, I think so. So when I reached 100 subscribers, I asked my Discord server, link in the description below, what they wanted to see as a small special video. And here it is, a top 10 of all Pokemon that ever existed. Remember, the list is completely subjective. These are what I think are the best Pokemon for, well, whatever reason. And hey, maybe a few years down the line it might change. I mean, Pokemon Scarlet and Violet are due to release this November after all, and who knows what awesome Pokemon might show up during this time. Well, let's get into it. Number 10, Slurpuff. On the top 10 spot, and number 10, we have Slurpuff. It is not a popular choice, and it was pretty difficult to choose between Slurpuff and Vanillix. I really like both lines. This seems to be a bit of an unpopular opinion from what I've seen online. The Vanillix line especially is well hated within the community, but I really like it. Back to Slurpuff though. When Pokemon X and Y were booming, I was in the middle of getting my baker's degree. Having a meringue Pokemon with an alternate color of being pure chocolatey goodness, Slurpuff was right off my alley. I might not be a baker right now, but my love for Slurpuff never really went away. Number 9, Torterra. Spoiler alert, Torterra is going to be the only starter you're going to find on this list. It's not that I don't like starters, or that I don't like Torterra as much, it's in my top 10 list after all. It's just that Torterra really jumped out at me. After really getting into Pokemon around Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald, jumping onto the Nintendo DS on a new adventure, getting to go alongside with my little Turtwig, it's memory lane all over again. Other than being a really cool Pokemon as a land tortoise with a tree on its back, it's also got a really awesome typing. At least to me, Torterra really plowed through a lot of the game once it got Earthquake as a move. And a powerful Pokemon is always a lot of fun. I even went with a Turtwig when the remakes of Diamond and Pearl came out, and he was still as much fun to use as I remember. Number 8, Wilmer. Okay, it's story time. So, around the time of Pokemon X and Y, and when the remakes of Ruby and Sapphire, I was really into shiny hunting. Fishing, chaining, sweet scents, you name it. And I really wanted to find a shiny Staryu by fishing for it in Lily Cove City in Pokemon Omega Ruby. Here's the thing though, Staryu only has a 5% chance of appearing in Lily Cove City when you use a Super Rod. The other 95% is fully dedicated to Wilmer. Nothing but Wilmer. So naturally, when Wilmer was appearing 95% of the time, you're going to be seeing shiny Wilmer a lot sooner instead. And boy did I see it instead. I still don't have my shiny Staryu, but that didn't deter me. I managed to fish up an entire box filled with shiny Wilmer before I called it. It felt like this species of Pokemon was holding me hostage and was keeping the shiny Staryu locked away somewhere. It even became a meme within my friend group. Seeing how much shiny Wilmer I was catching and how many times I saw regular Wilmer, well, I started to get attached to it. It's a fun looking Pokemon, it's got a whale of a cry too. It was actually almost a mascot of a channel instead because of it. Number 7, Regirock. Okay, legendary Pokemon are neat. Pretty much always they've got an awesome design and really stand out from the crowd. With Pokemon Emerald being in my possession and having to go through the internet to find out about the Regis was amazing already, which definitely adds to the value of liking Regirock. But other than that, I'm a fan of fantasy-like creatures, especially rock golem-like creatures. And while we do already have a golem on its own, Regirock just strikes all the right chords with me, you know? It doesn't really have a face, it's still slightly humanoid with its arms and legs, it's just cool. But it's not higher on the list because Whenever I do an Emerald Randomizer Nuzlocke and I see a Regirock appear, it explodes on me and takes down my Pokemon. Number 6. Vaporeon. Did you know that in terms of all the evolutions, Vaporeon is my favorite? And not because of any memes or anything, I just think it's cute. Any Pokemon that evolves from Eevee, and even Eevee itself, is already a prime candidate for being an awesome Pokemon. And I'm fairly sure that if a Pokemon fan has a top 10, there is a high chance that you'll find any evolution on there. They're just that popular. Vaporeon to me is just a bit better than the others. While it's hard to deny the appeal of other evolutions, Vaporeon just had a cool design that slightly reminded me of the Zora from The Legend of Zelda. And I like those too. Not to mention that in the anime and some of its Pokédex entries, it shows that it can quote-unquote melt in water. How cool is that? Number 5. Agron. Another Generation 3 Pokemon? Yes. Yes it is. I'm very biased. That, and I think that a lot of the designs for the Pokemon in the 3rd generation are just really good. Agron here is especially cool. It's like a metal bipedal dinosaur that will stab you if you get close. I went into Pokemon Emerald blind as a kid. I didn't look stuff up online because I just wasn't online much at all. So seeing the cute little Aron, which took a long time to train up and evolve into Laron, my determination was strong to see if it would evolve again. And boy, was my patience rewarded. Not only was I now the proud owner of a Rock and Steel type Pokemon, but also from this really cool looking Pokemon that looks super strong. It's like a knight is a fat armor. These days, Agron doesn't see much use competitively. It's what's called the PU tier, which is a pun like PU. It stinks, it sucks, it's bad. But I don't care about all that right now. Heck, I didn't even care about it back then. Agron is cool, and no place on the tier list is going to stop me from liking and picking one up whenever I feel like it. You and me, Agron, to the stars. Number 4. Tropius. Uh-oh. Is my Gen 3 love like the love from a Gen 1er for the 1st generation? I don't think so. I just really like the Pokemon. Tropius is unique. It doesn't evolve, its stats aren't all that great either. The typing is a little weird, I mean, grass and flying. Setting how useful it is aside, the design of a general idea of this Pokemon is so cool. I really love it. It's a flying palm tree dinosaur. With previous Pokemon, I always found it a little hard to imagine riding on the back of a flying Pokemon, you know? Some just seemed a little too small. Others looked like it would be uncomfortable, but with Tropius, I can totally imagine sitting on its back and flying from place to place. Not to mention that it has some delicious looking fruit for a beard. I always imagined if there were other fruits that could grow from different kinds of Tropius. And when Pokemon Sun and Moon introduced regional forms, I was holding out for an Alolan form of Tropius. But alas, we'll have to settle for bananas. Number 3. Machamp. We're getting into the top 3 now. It's fair to say that I like these Pokemon a lot. I either pick them up in playthroughs of games or just love looking at them, or seeing them represented in all kinds of ways or something. Machamp is the number 3 Pokemon. A Generation 1 Pokemon that has 4 arms and is super muscular. It's no surprise that I'm a bit of a big guy, and growing up with things like Dragon Ball Z and stupidly thinking that the ultra-muscular characters were like role models on how real men should look like, it was only natural that I would take a shine to Machamp as well. Super muscular and a Pokemon, now that's awesome. In my own playthrough of Pokemon Let's Go Eevee, I had a Machamp I just buffed the ever-loving crap out of too. It was the strongest Pokemon I ever owned, thanks to that game's silly mechanics. With the 3 elemental punches and a solid fighting type move equipped, this Machamp blasted through the Elite Four on its own and then some. On top of just being a really solid Pokemon to use, Machamp has just something about it, you know? It has that lizard-man-like look to it, and I always wanted to imagine what would happen if Machamp kept even more lizard-like features. With the regional variant mechanic having been added since Sun and Moon, the idea that a regional Machamp, or its pre-evolutions, could pop up made a very real possibility that something cool would come over. As of this video though, nothing yet, but I can hold on to the thought. Number 2. Snorlax! Whoa, whoa, whoa. Snorlax isn't in the number 1 spot? Yeah, that's right. I really do like Snorlax though. When I was thinking about what sort of mascot I wanted to use for my channel, which I knew would be a Pokemon, I was doubting between Wilmer and Snorlax. Eventually I figured that going for Snorlax would be the better choice, since it's bipedal and has an actual head, which would make it easier to draw people into since your eyes are naturally trained to look at faces. This is why I have a lot of emotes in my Discord server, and even art featuring Snorlax's simple face and then add a new feature to it every time. It's very nice to look at and easy to draw. If you asked me a year ago if Snorlax would make the top 10, I probably would have said no. Snorlax is a cool Pokemon, but it didn't jump out at me all that much. The design is simple, its cry in the games is just a single and it doesn't really do all that much beside eating. But now that I had made the choice to turn Snorlax into the mascot of the channel, he became something a little bit more. He's got so much more personality the more I looked at him, the more I drew him, and the more I imagined him. He became important. It just goes to show that you never really know what you might end up liking if you give it an honest chance. Snorlax is and always will be important to me, even if the channel should fail or Pokemon goes down under. Snorlax and I have a connection, bond. We're pals. And finally, number 1. Gardevoir. In the number 1 spot, I've got Gardevoir. Yup, Gardevoir. It's a far jump from any of the other Pokemon of his list that are more monstrous, bipedal, or whatever. But hey, this is it. My favorite Pokemon. I've always liked Pokemon. When I was a kid, and my brothers played Pokemon Red and Blue and then Gold and Silver on the same old Game Boys that my late grandmother got us. And around the time Pokemon Emerald came out, my brothers and I had become a bit more of our own person. Every one of us started liking different things and we would explore those interests. And I was the one that bought Pokemon Emerald from a paycheck from my first job. This was mine. My first Pokemon game that I got because I liked it. And not just because my brothers played it too. Pokemon Emerald was amazing to play, and I've loved every moment of it. Seeing that Wally caught a Ralts in a route I had just been in made me want to get one too. Ralts is a cute Pokemon, and I wanted her along for the ride, you know? I was curious about what it evolved into, and I knew that Psychic-type Pokemon were always solid team members to have. Watching Ralts evolve into Kirlia, and then ultimately into Gardevoir, I fell in love. Figuratively. I was way into the whole idea of medieval knights and princesses, angels and demons in anime, and Gardevoir was this really amazing, beautiful Pokemon, whose dex entry in the Emeralds game read as follows. It apparently does not feel the pull of gravity, because it supports itself with psychic power. It will give its life to protect its trainer. It sounded so surreal. Not only was it a powerful enough Pokemon to not feel gravity, but it was also fiercely loyal. In my mind, this ticked all of the boxes of being exactly what I liked at the time, and still do. Its Mega Evolution looks pretty dang epic as well, and the shiny colors for both of these forms are excellent too. Gardevoir has always had a special place in my heart. Like Snorlax, it's like having a pal at your side on a brand new adventure, which was Pokemon Emerald for me. And going on that adventure again with Gardevoir, when Pokemon Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire were released, it only solidified that feeling for me. And that's it, my top 10 favorite Pokemon. Did you enjoy the list, or even this format? And what are your top Pokemon of all time? Be sure to leave a comment down below, and also to like this video if you like it. It really helps. I'd like to thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time for more lists. Bye bye!